Yeah, we live, man. What's going on with you, man? Man, let everybody know who you is, man, and what you know what I mean.
What's good with you, man? My name's John, you know what I'm saying? Like Pop, how we doing?
Hey, but man, what you think about, man? What's going on, man? Out here, man. What you feel like the state of the conscious community is, the state of the impoverished community, the people in the matrix that don't know what's going on, all the victims. How you feel like all the victims and people that's lost and say they don't even give a fuck about the state of black people, even though they black and they don't give a fuck, and they out there banging and singing and they killing their own and they don't give a fuck, and they all on world star hip hop on that bullshit, man. What you think, man? Well, you know what I mean? How can we fix all of that, man?
Okay, well, personally, I feel like we have a lack of, I'm not going to call it a lack of leadership within the community, because I feel like first we have to start within our house. So I feel like first we have to start within our home, which we know is an African tradition. So when we start in our home, we talking about starting with education of our children, educating our children, educating our actual children, starting off, because we understand that that's going to be the future. That's our prospects, our future prospects, and we can instill in them whatever traits that we need in order to further our community in the struggle and the aspects of getting over this struggle. So I feel like first we got to start off and we got to zone our attention in on the family. Get your family right, get your kids right, get your wife right. You and your wife come together, get economics together, get you guys a business going, start working on that aspect. Fund your business. Rather, no matter how small it is, anything, just entrepreneurship, which we understand we started, the sciences and everything of that nature. Then you work your way up, your kids, and then you start building as a family. And then as you build as a family, then you link up with other African families, African American, Caribbean, Brazilian, depending on what we are. We understand we all brothers, we all sisters, we all good, we all family. But we link up with the others in our community. Then once we do that, we link up with that economics. We link it all together. We get a zone, we get a unit, we get unity together. That's the key word, unity. Once we get the unity together, then we come together and we get a political structure. Then people start respecting us. Once people start respecting us, that's when it's something beautiful. So now we get the political structure together. Once the political structure together and we actually have a political structure and we have people listening to us, then we'll be able to actually get things taken care of. But until then, if they're not seeing any unity and we're not starting with the unity at home, then it's going to be real bad. And I don't really see us getting over the issues that we're in.
All right, man. Do you feel like we need to be pressing the line on the people that's not doing nothing though, like all the people that got money and the people, you know what I mean? Do you feel like it's up to them, or do you feel like it's just on everybody's shoulder, or do you feel like everybody that's winning at this white man's game, everybody that's winning or feel like they living in harmony with him and everything is just all gravy, you know what I mean? Do we feel like it's up to them? If we can't get them to go along with the movement, then we just might as well not even fight, you know what I mean? Or I mean, what?
Okay. Well, in that aspect, basically, I don't per se think that the individuals who are rich, I don't per se think that they have more of an obligation. I think that if you have love for us, then I think you'll naturally want to step up to the plate and do that. I think you'll want to spread the resources that you do have. Now, they do not have to be particularly money. It doesn't have to be money. We're not talking about that, but we're talking about resources all in together. Education, whatever it may be, whatever outlets, facets you may have. People that don't have money have a lot of resources that you could help people with. For instance, if you have knowledge in agriculture, that's something that we lack in. So that's something in the community that's going to be really valuable. So, of course, we understand that, because if you can grow your own food, then you don't have to, it's going to take away a lot of money that you have to put on other things. So, things just like if you have knowledge in construction, teaching people how to build your own houses, own structures, things of that nature. In our community, that stuff that will really help us.
All right. Hey, now let me ask you this: Do you feel like the whole debate scene, the whole conscious community, the whole conscious movement, as far as what's going on around the country, do you feel like it's done turned into a contest almost, to where even though we're trying to come together and get right, that we're still competing with each other within that? Or do you feel like do we need to move past that? Do we need to move past trying to wake people up and just, go all out? I'm willing to die for this. Maybe then you'll realize, Or,
Yeah, I think as far as like the debates go, I think that I have nothing but respect for the debates. I think because we getting a lot of brothers away from the scene of saying, because a lot of brothers, our age and stuff of that nature, they're aggressive. They're aggressive. A lot of energy has to be distributed. So I think when you're dealing with the debates, you have brothers saying, okay, look, I'm competitive and I go hard. So either you can go hard for gang banging, you could go hard for whatever your thing may be, but at the end of the day, I think debates that make you go hard for education. Because you say, okay, you know what, I understand what he's saying is full of truthful knowledge. So I understand that I do have a different perspective from him, or I do have a different ideology. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go get the information to support what I feel. So when I go and I meet up with my fellow brother, then I can have the sources and the information and the tools that I need to show him that I'm correct. So it's a thing of getting educated. I think it helps by educating our people. So, I think education, which of course leads to more structure and leads to more logical decisions, and which leads to, you trickle it down to your children. So then, you get them educated.
All right, man. I asked you that because I feel like everybody's, putting information out there and stuff like that, and it's like, we got to do something with the information, even though I know that it's all type of underground circuits that take place that nobody might know about, or a lot of people might know about, but we're still not seeing any results on a major level, on a main scale, even with all the things that's going on. So I'm feeling like it has to be something that takes place outside of the norm that's already been taking place, or that's already, the norm, like, I know we have to be ready and know how to grow our own foods and be able to survive and all of that, but I feel like the only way that we can win, and our only way to survive, is to use the same force that they're using against us still. So do you feel like it's at the point that we need to just take the same approach that they're taking, as far as maybe the level of violence, or I'm not telling nobody to do nothing, but I'm just saying, do you feel like it's time for people to step up to the plate like that? And that's the only way, because that's what they've been doing to us for so long. That's the only thing they've been doing to us: extortion, violence, pillage, everything. So do you feel like we need to use the same force in order to get back what we're really trying to fight, and we're trying to maneuver and figure out so many ways to get what's really and truly ours? Or what you think about that?
Good question. Very good question, brother. In that in that aspect, I think that we need to understand that we have to have a lot of different sections. We have a lot of things that we have to address as a community and as a people. We have to understand that we have Africa that we have to address. We have African Americans. We have our people in Haiti. We have a lot of brothers and sisters all across the world that we have to address. So if we have a lot of different aspects that we have to address and a lot of different people, we understand that we have to have different systems in place to address them. So the facet, as far as you're talking about, as far as not allowing people to oppress us, as far as not allowing people to abuse us and kill us, of course, you have to have a community, or you have to have a force that's going to protect your people. Of course, because when you look at history, over time you see that there's a long history of individuals who, per se, through history shows that they have Africans' worst interest in their heart. And we understand that there's for a lot of different reasons. The fact that we have the resources, the fact that you enslaved individuals, and in order to keep them down psychologically so they don't, per se, go after the economics that we understand that we lost, you keep them down by keeping their history secret, then you understand that, you do have to have different facets. So you have, your education facet, where you're building your institutions, which would be African institutions, African ran thought processes, African education patterns, things of that nature. Then you'll have, of course, your military force, your police force, the things that are going to protect your community. Of course, you have your agricultural aspect. So, of course, we're going to have all kind of different systems set in place. That's what happens when you're really talking about, making a revolution, making a move about, changing, making change.
Okay, I mean, do you feel like our biggest downfall is them being able, and them,